Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode. Now you might be wondering why I am back in Undersgift when I was finally in Brackenbury. Well, as you can see, I completely overlooked or completely missed out on the fact that Pellegrina was right there waiting for me. I'm so sorry, and I even went all the way back to the embassy hoping to find her. So, I wanted to save you a couple of loading screens, and here we are. We're just going to talk to her and make her join my party, hopefully. Decision time. I really do like Kana, but he's a bard like me. So, no, I'm not gonna. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Just undress him. There, Kana. You can keep things. There. Okay, let's see what she has to say.
Ah, it's done then. Vetsano plays with fire and someone else always pays the price for it. Your charity is more than he deserves. Still, at least I don't have to deal with him anymore. For that, I'm grateful. Whether you intended to or not, you've done the Valian Republics a service today, ridding us of him. I work closely with the embassy to protect our interests, but lately I think our gaze has been too narrow. You clearly have pursuits of your own in the city, but I think we could help each other out. If you're interested in doing some work for us. Officially, I mean. We can go together and I'll introduce you to the ambassador.
Okay, let's go.
Good. Maybe I can finally do something more worthwhile than playing nanny to merchants. The embassy is up in First Fires, southwest of the Ducal Palace.
And dialogue. So,
Safe travels.
yes, indeed, Kana. We'll see you when we get home. Okay, now I have a number of adventurers. I just need to give them a bit of gear, and I'm carrying loads of things like fine weapons. They're not the best, but they're definitely better than nothing at all. So, next time I go home, I'm going to equip these people with armor. For now, let's see what she's
I'm
all
ready.
about. Ah, she looks amazing. Right now she is equipped with her own breastplate. She uses two-handed swords and pistols. Well, you're in luck. I happen to have a rather good pistol, and this was what? A great sword as well. Armor-wise, though, I don't have much. Oh no, I can't give her Kana's hat. It's such a silly hat, and she has such amazing hair. Let's see, we'll try it. That's fine. Oh, brilliant, it's locked. Good, good. I don't have to feel bad not giving a party member something decent to protect their head. I'm sorry, Sagani, I'm sorry. But look at Elos. With his fab hat. Okay. I am not going to the embassy. Even though it's tempting, but no. Brackenbury, Brackenbury, Brackenbury. I'm sure I'll get the opportunity to go through First Fires, for example, on my way to Heritage Hill. Am I in fast mode? No. I'll have a look at her skills as well. She's a pally. The thing is, she doesn't feel like a one-dimensional goody-goody pally, not even thinking about, the consequences. Being quite narrow-minded. So,
I'm ready.
good. You're a level 5 paladin, okay. you're avian godlike, you're a soldier, sure. Zealous focus. Nice. What's the catch? Cannot be active with other auras. Is that another aura? No, that's two-per encounter. Brilliant. And that is two-per encounter as well. Well, have that on. For now, that's the only thing I have. Ooh, I'm gonna like her, I think.
Ah,
Ah, indeed. That would be the sanitarium. Animancer, Animancer. Oh, there was a guy with a name I should have talked to before I go in. Oh well. We want to retrieve Helix research from Mordred's library. We also want to find the Animancer who wrote Warden and Animancer from the Republic. Banchelo has requested a visit. Extend a formal invitation. See to it that the necessary preparations are made. Of course. I'm sorry to interrupt your chat with a statue. Head Warden. I'm gonna go and talk to the Warden. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. I am envious of your natural insight, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? You may have a member of the laden key in your midst, yes. I'm looking for an Animancer named Mordred. True. I'm curious as to how you've come to be in your present state. Later. Does anyone here knows anything about awakenings? I suppose they do some research, but if they had the solution, I guess, we'd know about it. Let's go with the number 1. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. They have something I need. They are up to something. I'm trying to determine what. I don't like what they stand for. I'm going to be with number 2. I want to know what's their deal. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have any idea of whom this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. I won't know until I've met them. It would be unwise to consider anyone above suspicion. It sounds a bit, like a witch hunting. I will know when I meet them. Very well, in that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident Animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleague. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You'll report anything suspicious to me immediately. That is my only request. Fair enough. Tell me about Mordred. Of course, you'll find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Thank you. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We are an old institution, as Durwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favored souls came to populate its street in droves, thus the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today, so much progress has been lost to the mishap of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then, we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work into soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Durwood's most excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. Perhaps, people see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment, defending this entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds, if it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Durwood. I fear Eivor might be swayed by all this unrest, irrational thought it may be. We shall see. Well, I'll ask what they know or think they know about the awakenings. There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Revua to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belisage. Okay? Thank you. So, allow me to
Be cautious.
sneak.
Be constant.
A portion of his soul was recovered near his body. We used the stone as a vessel for transfer. Can you hear me, Oswin? The patient's eyes slowly open before a panicked, wild expression washes over him. Unfortunately, the extended dissociation has permanent side effects. The patient becomes more agitated, grunting and moaning as he tugs at his bonds. With further research, we're confident that we'll be able to rehabilitate patients like Oslin. Okay, you sound like you may have things to say, so I'll talk to you. Oldmere.
Well met, friend.
Well met indeed. Have you come to sit in? Not really. Anything suspicious? I'd like to know more about the Sanitarium. What is it you do here? Do you know anything about awakenings? Well, I guess we're gonna have to try all of them. So, anything unusual or suspicious? Definitely not up here. You can't be scaring off visitors and potential clients, you know. Downstairs is where the more esoteric research is done. I'll check with the animancers there. Okay, doesn't mean the conversation
God's
is
keep.
over. Tell me about what you do. Close as we are to the Glathathan Wilds, we get a number of beeworks maimings every year, survivors dealing with complication from exposure. This fellow here is a severe case. His essence is a mere whisper of what it was. I am early in my research, only beginning to understand how they work, but in time I hope to find a way to protect people from the storm's effects. Okay, fair enough. These look like field sketches of Egwythian ruins and artifacts. I'm not sneaking
Eyes
anymore.
open.
This painting of a rolling forest glen has a strangely soothing effect. Interesting. I don't want to go downstairs just yet. Want to make sure I've talked to everyone up here first. But noble. Looks like that's it. So let's go downstairs and talk to the more suspicious people. Wow, okay. Already looks quite different. I mean, there's a few plants here and there.
I shall be discreet.
Sure. Oh, there we go.
Welcome.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ikosi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that you do not see the Keith standing in front of me. What can I do? I'm looking for an expert. Well, let's go for that. She should be the one. Ack, that would be me. Though the lack of research subject has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards, I would like to transfer Animance's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose soul have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck I have a volunteer. I do? And that's the only option I have? Well, I'll go with it then. Who is it? Please don't tell me it's me. Oh, of course. Of course. Sure, you'll be fine, Alice. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. Very reassuring. I beg your pardon. I jest. Yo. You're so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. Oh, she's very funny. So I need you to sit here and try to relax, but don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Helpful? And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. So we have thick copper bands on his forehead and wrist. His face twitches with suppressed irritation. I totally understand. Now I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses, cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that would allow me to track the anomalies in your souls. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Isamir more? I like that lady. But first we must find the cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make the adjustments. Good luck. You'd have an easier time getting straight answers out of a drunk priest of well. What do you know, Palagina? You've just joined us, but fine. Very well. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the synthwood. He looks to you. His face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehensions show through nevertheless. Oh, come on, Aloth, you can do it. Tell me about your parent. What do you remember about your home? Yeah, I don't want to make him talk about his dad. That's not a good souvenir. So, let's go with the home. As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mist of your own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his sense and strangling its many threads. He closes his eyes, comfortable, modest, quiet, when Mother is away, which is most of the time. Quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she's around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I'm sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. It kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. Mariko! He's hypnotized himself with his old memory. You've got to bring him out of it quickly. I almost have it. I'm laughing at the option number 4. I don't want to slap him because if he's, in his vision, it's just gonna be another kick. Maybe not a strong one, but I'm just going to squeeze his hands. Come on, Alice. Get back to me. Aleth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's near safe when I hap upon him. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congealing. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high and higher. That warm molasses feeling that crisp down your gut when crisis is nigh. That's different, isn't it? I really wish there was a voiceover there. I like the accent and I can't do it. Oh well. Belfeto, we have flares of a totally distinct essence. Now try to get the two of them talking. I'm gonna go with number 2. Tell Alice why you've awakened. Fie, here's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. I never turned it over to you. Good, yes, very good. I can now see 2 separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the others flows. It's as if the awakened soul filled the spaces that he leaves empty. Go on. Alice, what's this about ceding space to Isilmir? I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. You should ask Wit I did, that old man of his, how the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. This wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Now I was awakening. But now I'm stuck with ye, and damn if I let your neighing drag us both through the scupper. Ah, very good. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isilmir's essence throughout the exchange. She had a particularly high density in Stax during the most heated portion of their argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. Fair enough. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. This is utter horseshit. A little bit. How gracious. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. Isomir manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. True. You're close. I think Isomir's appearances are related to potential sources of trouble for Aloth. Right. Aloth's right. That's absurd. Isomir's obviously shows up when he feels threatened. Number 4. If you're right, then removing the spleen should cure him. Let's not suggest that. I'm gonna be respectful. I mean, she's studied. She must know things. So I'm gonna say you're close. Anyway, the options 1, 2, and 3 really say the same thing. I suppose that could be true. I'll have to check this against other research. Right. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Yeah. Okay, Isamir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. She did you a favor by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help. You mean, And the last one, it seems that Isamir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. It's not clear yet whether this is a help or a hindrance. But you should hear her out. I agree that he should hear her out. But I mean, we want them to cohabitate nicely, don't we? I'm gonna go with that. If you had to listen to her half as much as I do, you wouldn't say that. I've got a lot to process regardless. Thanks for your help, Danae. Well, that's not very helpful for Aloth. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it's been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Revua. Fentre Aloth. That was not helpful at all. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animancy, just what I've always wanted. True, I'm sorry about that. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. No, you get your explanation and she gets her research. That was the deal. Oh, come on, the explanation was worthless. Like, we knew that Isamir would intervene when Aloth was helpless. Leave me out of this. Fair enough, but do it quietly. I can't let you do that. Not after hearing how much this means to her. Meh. I don't like any of those. Okay, as you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eyes. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them in his cloak. I'm not going to stop him. Fair enough, but do it quietly. He hides the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. We'll see to this on our own. Yeah, sorry, Belisage, but you weren't very convincing. Next. Ooh, I've made money.
I shall be discreet.
Yep, discreet indeed. No one's down there. Is this locked? This is locked. I won't be able to go in there until I've talked to someone, I guess. Ripley.
Well met, friend.
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spine of the books in front of her, row by row, her motions quick and skittish like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? Sure, sure. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Well, I mean, technically I've talked to the expert on awakenings, but I don't want to say I'm investigating. That's stupid. Me, I'm just Master Ezra's assistant. But there's a visiting scholar from Revua here named Belasage. Yeah, she claims indeed. What do you do here? I mostly help Master Ezo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. Fine, I'll go with number one. It's like saying, hey, I'm a spy. Do you have sensitive information for me? Oh, I'm just Master Ezo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he's come out of the patient ward. I see. So is he busy with patient or running experiments? Just an assistant. Right. How do I get into the patient ward? He's the only one with access, and I guess head warden does too. But he's, a statue. Very astute. Ooh, I leveled up? Already? Brilliant. Since I'm not gonna be fighting, I'll see if the others can level up as well. And then I'll have a look at all of them. Nah, who am I kidding? I'm just too impatient. I am not going to change any of my gear, I don't think. Right. I want to improve survival because I have a feeling that it also... There we go. Access level 3 camping bonuses. And also I think I might be able to have more camping kits. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna do that. Athletics is I'm really not athletics. Okay, I'll have to accept that. Mechanics, I don't have enough points. Stealth. I mean, it would be good. I'm really not good at it, so maybe it's just a matter of having more points in the skill. Okay, another song, and once again, because those titles are just so crazy, I'll have to look at the description of each of them. Paralyze enemy in the area of effect. I like that. 3 worms into existence to fight the party. I like that too. My son, did you see your sisters across the moor? And what does that do? Amasses stray soul fragments to form 2 will-o-wisps that fight for the party. Interesting. Oh, 3 songs and the 3 of them are good. Causes enemy in the area of effect to be terrified. I like that. Stirs something deep inside enemies in the area of effect, charming them. Well, that's good too. All these songs are good. Now I'm a little sorry I sent Kana away because, he could have different songs and I could enjoy all of them. So the first one was Paralyze Them. Area of effect is a cone. Area... that's a summon, so no. This is a circle. Another cone. Another cone. Tiny cone. Bounces up. Okay, what do you do? The chanter creates 2 bouncing beams of pure light that restore endurance and grant immunity to frightened and terrified on all allies struck by them. That's quite nice. That is quite nice. I don't know, I kind of like all of them, really. The summons, the good thing with the summons is like they're quite straightforward. I'm gonna go with the first one. There. Next. Okay, class unlocks. What do we have? Ancient memory. Constant endurance regeneration, but usually I'm quite safe from the fight. Acolyte radiance. Gives me the skill Holy Radiance. Sneak attack. Nah, don't do that. Aspirant mark. 1 per encounter. What is the recovery passive? Meh. Do I want some missiles? That's pretty good. Oh, I want all of them. This is a druid skill and I don't have a druid. So that could be interesting. Gallant's focus, extra accuracy, that's not bad. Obviously they're all kind of good. I'm going for the druid skill just because, you know, it's a skill that no one else has right now. Even though I wish I could take a couple of them. And you know what, now I realize, silly me. There were 4 more tabs. Oh well, what's done is done. Hey there. We're gonna keep the rest, I think. Yeah, all of these. Silly me. Silly me. I mean, these are great. I really like the 1 per encounter, because usually when it's a, you know, what seems to be an easy encounter, I don't want to use my spells, so it's good that they have all sorts of skills. But he already has a weapon focus, as far as I remember. However, defensive. We want you to have more defensive. Hold the line. You can engage more enemies, so more of them can hit you. Brilliant. Mental body control. Resistance against all sorts of things. Unstoppable. Sounds good. Resistance against all sort of things. Cautious attack. Weapon and shield. That's good. I think that's what I have to go for. Because I want him to have a shield. Yep, up next. Done.
Hey.
Okay, one more door. Hey, here you are. There's your things that I can look into, just like that. Leave the trunk alone. I mean, he's right there. Let's talk to him first, shall we? An animenser scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Good day to you.
Can I help you? With a polite smile. Does the name Helic mean something to you? No. What are you working on? Sounds a better choice. My area of focus is wished, more specifically, how to cure them. How do you study them? What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? Animancy has an answer here. I know it. Simply a matter of working it out. Okay, tell me, what is a wish? A Hollaborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. Oh, but that's horrible. One of Animancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. They show sign of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. I can agree with that. So I want to help you, but transplanting animal soul into children seems like an odd solution, like seriously. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. And despite the controversy, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. The complication don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between the body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous, but we paid dearly for our mistake, I promised you. Angry mobs hunted down Animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it, but we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. I see. Good. I mean, if I ask for the expert, yeah, nothing. So let's talk about Helig. Helig, a colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in animancer too. He worked at the sanitarium for several years. I dare say everyone here has heard of him. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian Republics. The advances they're making in animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. Perhaps you haven't. He feels quite uncomfortable there, doesn't he? Do you know a woman named Rowena? No, I don't get out of the sanitarium much. Let's go back and talk about Helig. As I said, he no longer works here. I've heard it differently. Let's see. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's very poor in taste. I don't have might, so... Helig wasn't joking, and neither am I. So you didn't sink a blade into his chest and dump him in the catacombs. He'll be relieved to hear it. I'm gonna go with that. Sarcasm. How could... Very well, yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged souls. And for what? He flayed the essence of Glenfarthing indigents for his amusements. If the public had known half of his deeds that have razed this place to the ground, I tend to agree with him. I'd like to not kill him. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on us all and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. He said you stole a grimoire from him. Helig's souls returned to his corpse through sinister magic. He wants revenge. Hardly brave, stabbing a man in his sleep. So you killed him to save your own reputation? Doesn't seem like much of an... There must be more to it. I'm gonna dig a little deeper. The reputation of the whole discipline, rather. You realize there are groups in this city looking for an excuse to have us all hanged. I won't see the knowledge we worked on so hard for lost because of one man's madness. Let's go with number 2, the truth. No doubt. But now you understand why I killed him, why someone had to. If he sent you, I only hope I can convince you to return and slay him once and for all. He has something I need. True, he does. So you give me the grimoire, and then I kill him. We'll see. You'd consider a deal with that monster? If what I've told you hasn't swayed you, I doubt anything will. Must return to my work. I wish you well. But no. Really, you're not
Greetings.
very, very helpful. Just looking around. So I'm gonna have to try the chest. I'm not happy with that. He should have agreed to give me the grimoire, then I got what I want, and then I can kill him. So let's examine the trunk. The lack of dust on the trunk surface and the long scratches on the tire flooring suggest that the trunk is frequently used and moved throughout the laboratory despite its considerable size. Deep yet narrow gouges score the wood at the edge of the trunk. They look like claw marks. Wow. I'm going to unlock it. You take the key you acquired from Helig and place it in the lock. It fits perfectly and turns with a solid clunk. The trunk holds no grimoire or treasure. Instead, you find yourself staring at the feral gaze of a toothy maw of a twisted, monstrous creature. Its humanoid form has been overwhelmed by bony angles and terrible claws. What the? With a start. Oh no. Oh. Okay, with a start, you recognize the vague shape of a young girl beneath the elongated, malformed bones and greyish skin. It growls and leaps from the trunk, not towards you, but towards Mordred. Mordred has no time to scream before his throat is torn out. Damn it! Ah, that's so not what I wanted. I am not happy about that. I am killing him anyway. Was that Rowena, you think? I worry it's probably her. I'm gonna check here that it's still locked, and that the experiment is still going on. I guess I'm gonna have to go and talk to the statue again. I'm not happy with the outcome. I mean, sure I could reload, but it feels like cheating. Let's see what he has to tell me.
Hail, traveler!
Have I learned anything? Yes. What sort of experiments? Experiments? Kidman Azo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. Oh, yet he is. He would be the one to guide your inquiry. Okay. He'll be in his office or in the patient ward. I'm granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on the matter. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Agreed. So back down we go. There we go. Flesh construct, frail, sanitarium guard, flesh construct. Quite a few patients. Let's talk to the one person with a name, shall we? A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. A friendly visit, I hope. Have any of the patients been acting unusually? That's a fair question. Well, this Batixa, who believes a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago, idle man, who they say only has half a soul, and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean. Yeah, I should have been clearer. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Ezo let us know that a number of patients in a North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his lab to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most trouble cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham I see them making in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. What do you know about Azo? I got a feeling she likes him. Oh, I like him very much. There we go. Many animenses could care less about their patients, look at us like vermin from their experiments, but Master Azo treats us like human, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. Right. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened to Azo, yes? I don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Durwood. That was his reputation here, and that's what has brought me to seek treatment. People say it was his ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loved his homeland. He thought it could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work, suspected his colleague might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it, had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help him with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Andra's gift? No, tell me. They call them boys because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. Oh, that's horrible indeed. Anyway, Master Azo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in this office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Well, would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guard allow a visitor, just Master Azo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Okay, why are you here? I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the color of your eyes. Flattery, really? You can tell me I'm going crazy too? No, I wouldn't worry about that. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I made do. What else can I do? I moved into a tiny place in Andra's gift, got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to, but I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noble woman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed, gorgeous thing, this shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they call an awakening. I remembered being a noblewoman myself in another life, people doting over me, men doting over me, the best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of, they were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life, it did something to me. My food started to taste rotten, the walls in my little room seemed to close in around me, I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about, you don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it, and I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me, and if so, what terrible thing must have I done to deserve it? Maybe you'll get there again. Maybe the gods took offense to your overindulgence. That's a bit judgmental, isn't it? But then, is there such a thing as karma? I mean, in this world, in this game? Nobody deserves to go through... Well... You had it right before. There's nothing to do but live with it. Number 3 is a bit judgmental. Number 5 is fine. But number 3 says maybe, so I think maybe. Maybe they did. I wish I had known. Back when I was noble, maybe I would have done things differently. Okay? Where I find him? He's been around in his lab. Okay, thank you. I want to talk with Graham. What are those flesh constructs doing here? I know I should be going north. I just want to, you know, get a sense of the map.
My eyes are peeled.
Oh. And I just found him, just like that. But, I mean, according to the journal, I should first... But I'm here, I'll talk to him. I'll quick save. Actually, you know what? I'll do more than quick save. I'm just going to save. At a turning point in the story, maybe. Anyhow, oh, and I have these people leveling up. Okay, I'm going to level them up quickly. Aloth, with your fancy hat. You can have a little more... I'm tempted to give him more survival, really. Let's do that and keep the points. Arcane Dampener. Not bad. I think that's pretty good. What is the radius? It's a tiny radius, though. Draining Touch. I don't like touch spells because then he just stays there in the thick of the battle. Alacrity Motion. Anyone caught in the area of effect, so friendly fire. Meh. Spew force, a poisonous cloud of foulness that causes coral damage and leaves victims sickened. All of it is friendly fire. Hey, that's good. You know, if enemies get a little too close, bring on the ugly. Alright. For him, the skills are really quite good. I don't care about the weapon focus for him right now. Defensive, meh. Utility, I don't even remember. Oh yes, it's like little field triage. That's kind of useful, but that should be... Really, that should be anyone else. He needs those, I think. Arcane Veil. Extra level 1 or level 2 spell. I don't know, I sort of like that. Especially since Kana is gone and Kana had it. Nah. Charm someone, I need to be... There's a... Okay, let's go with that. Endurance. Endurance. You have your lore, you have... I'm gonna give you also some survival. Maybe a new robe would be nice. Accuracy bonus from... Yeah, that's good. Because I always start the fight with it. Done. Well, that was quick. Okay. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I see you next week for another episode. Bye bye!